All right, so welcome back to Shrewsbury Soccer Training podcast, whatever you want to call it. So what I'm going to be doing with this video is basically answering questions. You can ask me questions down in the comments. You can ask me questions on TikTok, Instagram, email, whatever it is. But I'm going to be doing kind of like a quick little, tackling a bunch of questions at once. Because honestly, it's difficult to answer every single question when I have like 64 questions sitting to be answered. So we're going to try and knock out a couple of those and see if we can help a couple of people. But before we get into that, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, because once we reach 1,000 subscribers, I will be giving away a $10 gift card to someone, to one of the subscribers. So if you could please definitely do that. Also be sure to join the Discord channel where we have fantastic challenges, conversations, and every single time I upload a video. So if you don't want to click the notification bell, you can join Discord. My videos get announced there once they're uploaded, and you can have discussions about it. You can also ask me questions. You can interact with the other members, and it's fun. And we'll have different giveaways that will be exclusive to Discord later on down the road, which I'm excited about. But let's get into some questions. This will be pretty much uncut with a couple of edits here and there just to make it spark or to bring out a couple of important facts. So the first question is a position question, which I've gotten quite a few of these, and I'll answer a few of them today. The first one comes from Joe FL on TikTok. Joe is 5'1", 13 years old, has good vision, good passing, is a right-footed player, good speed, amazing stamina, good dribbler, but bad confidence on the ball, decent shot, good skills. So everything that you just said to me says cam or center mid, except for confidence. You need to work on that if you want to play in the middle of the field, especially when you're playing for someone like me who's midfield dominant with defensive line strong, which means I'm confident about pushing my field up and basically, reducing backfield space for the opponent to run onto. So what I'm trying to do is, of course, you want to control the middle of the field, and you need high confidence. You have everything else you have, everything else you have is fantastic. It definitely is something that would be good for a center mid, but if you have the ball and you freak out, that's going to be very bad and will basically give up a very important aspect of the field. So one of the things I would recommend you doing is, play with your head up. A lot of people, lose a lot of confidence because they're looking at the ground, and they lose a lot of, motivation because, they receive the ball and instantly getting hit blindsided, and that freaks people out. Be sure to dribble with your head up. Look to space, and don't hold on to the ball too long, but don't be afraid to take risk. You'd be surprised at going out of your comfort zone and doing something like taking a wild shot or sending a long ball. That's not really part of what you do, but it's something you wanted to try. And taking those risks builds confidence, especially when sometimes those risks pay off. And you have to take risk. If you don't take risk during a game, you're not going to be as successful as you would have been if you didn't. Almost no successful team is successful by pure, playing basics. Sometimes you have to take some chances, set a requirement. Let's connect 10 passes before we can go forward, or, let's try and hit a long ball and settle it and then go to goal. These are some fun challenges that, not only make the game fun, but pushes players to find new heights. So don't be afraid to take chances, and don't be afraid to, encourage your growth and confidence by basically taking chances, because that's really what builds confidence. But don't let, failed chances like, something you did out of the norm diminish your confidence. You got to stay consistent with, trying new things, but doing the basics well. And it can be difficult. It really can. And confidence is one of those things that, if you don't work on building, it will never improve. And if you don't continue to improve it, you can lose it. So don't be afraid to take risk. And don't be afraid to take criticism. That can sometimes kill people's confidence, because they get criticism and they think it's, oh, they don't like me, or oh, I suck, or whatever. No, you have to take criticism. If you can't take criticism, you're not going to go anywhere. You won't know where your faults are to improve. So don't be afraid to take criticism, take chances, and move the ball downfield. But center the field, cam to center mid, to help build your confidence in a less stressful position, maybe winger, up top wing, or outside mid. I would say fullback, but I run a very dominant defense, and I require my defenders to have high confidence because I need them to, not give up halfway through the game because of something didn't go their way. I run an offside trap, so I press high, and if you lose your confidence and get upset and you get distracted, then we just give up more goals. So yeah, that's kind of my spiel. Anyways, let's get to another question. So all right, so here's another one. Where should I play? I'm 5'5" and 13. I'm extremely fast, good dribbling, great tackling, good strength, decent shooter, meh at passing. Well, striker would be my first thought just because your passing's not so strong. Everything else is great. Being able to have good defensive mindset, being able to hold off the ball, being able to tackle and high press is good for a striker. Because we want you to be able to take the ball and go straight to goal sometimes. I would work on passing. I mean, it is a very integral part of the sport. You need to be able to pass. Even if you're a lone striker up top, doesn't mean that you don't need to have some level of passing. You still need to pass. And if you can't pass effectively, then you're just a one-directional person, and that's not beneficial. So I would play you at striker, but I would probably move you off to winger just so you'd get that encouragement to improve your passing, to improve that aspect. You don't want to constantly, be like, well, I'm great at shooting, dribbling, just give me the ball, I'll do all the work. It doesn't work that way. Soccer is a team sport. Building from the very last defender to the very last offensive player. And every single aspect needs to be able to pass, trap, shoot, and work as a team. So don't neglect passing just because you think, well, I'm a striker, so therefore I don't need it. Well, goalkeepers can play with their hands, but they still need to be able to trap the ball. So, all right, let's move on to the next one. All right, favorite player. So I get this quite a bit. I have grown to really like, I can't say his name, but Mbappe. I suck at saying his name, but him. I like Kimpembe on his defender, but my all-time favorite player is Wayne Rooney. He's always been my favorite player since growing up. His personality, I thought it was hilarious that he set up an actual Facebook account, not a group or a page, an account, and he maxed out on as many followers as one person can have. Friends and followers. So I just think his overall demeanor, play style, and just kind of his overall, it's kind of I relate to him the most. He's a good guy, he's funny, he's a great family man. Have a lot of respect for him. And one of the things I thought was funny is like he said he would go to the pubs here in the United States and no one knows who he is. And he's like, that's great, I can go out, I can have a drink, I don't have to worry about being bombarded by questions about the game or autographs, because he's a celebrity in England, and then once he comes to America, it was like, who's this guy? It's cool. So I just respect him tremendously. All right. Now here's a good one from Sam is 14. Any tips to go from a bad team, but you are good to a really good team? Okay, so basically you're going from a bad team to a good team. So some of the most important tips I need to tell people whenever you're transitioning from a team that you've kind of grown out of to a team that you are at the bottom of the barrel, you need to be humble. You can't show up to this team thinking, I'm going to be the middle or the top player. That's not the point. We join these teams to improve ourselves. You cannot show up and being arrogant, rude, and unwilling to learn, because that's not exactly the point of progressing from the lower tier team to the higher tier team. You've progressed to that tier team because you want to get better. You want to learn. You want to see your mistakes and your flaws so that you can improve them, so that you can be the best at that level and potentially go further. So basically my biggest tip is you need to be humble, listen to advice, listen to criticism, network with the players, learn teamwork. It's more important because at the lower tier team you probably could do a lot more on your own, carry the ball, take people on one-on-one, and basically do about 80% of the work and not so much, communication or teamwork. When you play for the higher level teams, you have to work on teamwork, you have to work on, brushing off mistakes and just recovering, but not forgetting. You have to remember your mistakes so you can train and fix them later. And it's difficult. A lot of players go from a really bad team and then going to the good team and they're like, oh my God, I'm awful. And it's like, no, you're not awful. You just have to switch mindsets better. And basically when you transition from the bad team to the good team, or the lower tier to the higher tier team, there's a different expectation, and there's a reason why they're there. The coach is more intense, the players are more intense, the demand on your ability to perform is more intense. So, you know, it's one of those things where you just have to understand there's a transitional period that you need to be a little more respectful, a little more quieter, not like in general of like working on the team, but quieter and paying attention. Once you get into the groove of things, then you can start to wake up and really grasp what it means to play for this team. So that's kind of my advice. Just be humble and listen and learn. Take criticism, take compliments, but don't let it go to your head. I've seen so many players who go from the lower tier to the higher tier team. They kind of were quiet, but they were a little arrogant, and they took a lot of, you know, they took all the confidence boosters, but every single time they are criticized, it cut them down tenfold, and they basically had to start over, and then it just never was good. So don't go in overconfident, go in humble, and just be respectful and listen to criticism and respect it. So what is too short for center back? So I don't really think, so playing this sport is not too dependent on height. It's not like basketball, it's not really like football or a sport or volleyball where height is a very integral part of the sport. The average height for a professional soccer player is between 5'5" and 5'10". Some of the outliers are, of course, you know, maybe 5'2", 5'3", and then some of the taller ones are about 6 feet to 6'2". This sport's not based on height. You could be 5'4", 5'3", and still be a fantastic center back because you're able to read the field, you're able to, you know, space yourself out and really effectively read this play as it moves towards you and adjust accordingly. Because the game is played at our feet, not with our hands or our head often. And to say, you know, a player that's 5'3" or 5'4" can't play center back, it doesn't make any sense. Because you still have 2 feet, you still have a mind, you still have a concept and understanding of how the game works. So to say, oh, well, you're not 6 feet tall, you can't play center back, that doesn't make sense to me. You know, if you put in the work, you put in the effort, you pay attention to space, and you know, accommodate your, you know, weaknesses and can overcome them, there's no reason why you can't play the position. So don't be put down because of height. Focus on working around it and being patient. Because a good defender is patient and precise. He can be aggressive, but he has to understand when to step in and when to drop back. Because sometimes giving an opponent space it's more difficult for them to handle that, because now they're having to dribble towards you. You build the suspense on them, wait for them to make the mistake, and then just take the ball from them, or they kick it out. It happens a lot. But what you don't want to do, of course, is overstep, stab, get beat, and they can't keep up or can't body them off the ball because you're behind them. So when you have height as a disadvantage, you really got to plan those attacks better. So let's answer one more question, and that'll be it for this video. I'll be answering more. I've got tons of them, don't worry. All right, cool. There's some hate questions. Oh, I get so many of them. All right, let's see. My girlfriend does this. You, as someone who lived this, what's the best way I can show her support? Goalkeeper. Not sure I understand that question, but goalkeepers need to be supportive of the defense, and they need to be the guiding force behind them. A lot of goalkeepers that are quiet actually frustrate me quite a bit, because if you're standing at the top of a tower, let's say we're playing a video game, like if you play a video game, you're standing at the top of the tower, you can see everything. You can be the sniper, you can be the leader, you can be this person who says, we've got people coming from this side, or we've got someone coming from the back door. You have a larger perspective of the field, so you need to make sure that you are conveying that information to your teammates as they're trying to keep eyes on the ball and trying to mark their mans in front of them, where on the side of the ball. So as a goalkeeper, you need to be looking at the field as a whole, from back door, which is back post, front post, and down the middle, because if your teammates are focusing on this side and you've got someone coming behind you, you are responsible for ensuring your defense is aware of that. So make sure that you call out back door or back post, or say there's a runner, say their number, but then make sure that you're really demanding with your defense and saying, I need someone to mark back door. You need to be on this man. He's coming down. We've got 2 people coming back and 1 defender has 2 people. You've got to project your voice. You've got to make sure that you're telling your defense, hey, so-and-so has 2 opponents on his side. They're stacking the side. We need to pull back and compact some more. So take a grip of your defense. Make sure as a goalkeeper that you don't let your defense ignore you. If that means being overly aggressive and basically telling them, do it now or get off. Do it, because you have to ensure your safety. You have to ensure that the defense is compact and listening. And if they're not going to listen to you, then you have to demand it. If they don't listen to you, then you probably should talk to your coach and be like, look, I'm trying to organize the defense. They're ignoring me. They're leaving tons of space. I can only save so much. Can you please help me? Your coach should respect you at that point and be like, okay, we'll have a talk about it. Because goalkeepers, you need to understand that you're in a position of pretty high risk of injury, because you have to be aggressive. You have to throw your body at the ball. You basically need to protect your house. Your house is the entire 18, and you have to make sure that nothing goes in the net, because that is like your bedroom. That's your bed. You want to make sure that no one comes in and jumps in it and throws their nasty crap all over the bed, right? Protect it, demand it, enforce it. Control your field, control your defense, and there should be no reason for a defender to ignore you. So don't be afraid to yell at them. Don't be afraid to be confident about telling the defense, hey, let's get on this, because if you don't pay attention, we're going to get scored on, because I can only do so much. You're not Superman. You can't move. You can only move so fast and jump so far, jump so wide. Anyways, once again, if you'd like to be entered in to win the $10 gift card for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway, just subscribe. That's all you have to do, and I'll go through the subscription list, do a random pick, and maybe you could win it. At 1,500, I'll be giving away a GMR, but you need to be in the Discord. Once you join the Discord, you'll know whenever the giveaway is going to be done, and once we reach 115 subscribers, how that'll be done. We also have a competition, which I have posted on Discord, and you can be like the top dog winner and get a cool roll, as well as potentially win prizes later on. So be sure to do that. So if you guys could, please help me like, share, and subscribe so we can hit that 1,000 subscribers so I can give away that $10 gift card. And thank you so much for listening. I am so happy and excited that I've got some content to push out to you guys. I also found a new field, so I may be having some new training content coming your way. Stay tuned, and thank you so much for your support.